Hello and welcome back to the Cascade Pacific Shop. We are going to start off a new series with you today on a new project that we have going on. It's an interesting one, which at the outset seems pretty simple, but actually it's got a few challenges with it. So we have a client who's asked us to do reproductions of this Flagstaff for a fleet of 8 sailboats. So this Flagstaff is about 47, 48 inches long, and they've had some problems with them. So these sailboats are used uh, heavily. They're used in leadership training, and like I said, there's 8 of them, and they get a lot of use by hundreds of different people throughout the year. So everything on the boat takes a lot of wear and tear, sometimes some abuse. And so these Flagstaffs are something interesting and a little bit technically challenging to make. And they want to make a few design changes to them because these have been failing. Um, uh, One of the reasons they've been failing is they've been snapping off right here. There's a sleeve over here, and then the wood is stepped down to accept this sleeve. So that step down creates a 90-degree angle inside of there, and then if this Flagstaff gets a load on it by somebody accidentally leaning on it or pulling on it, these have been snapping off right here at where that step down is. The other problem with these is that they're not quite long enough. When the American flag is hanging from them, the bottom of it drags in the water just a tad bit. So not only do we need to fix this issue with it breaking, we need to make it about 5 or 6 inches longer so that the flag doesn't drag in the water. Another challenge with making something like this is so we're looking at making something about 53, 54 inches long. As you can see, this has a very gentle curve and taper to it. We got the nice ball at the end. So typically this would be made in something that, if you had a really large lathe, you could do it in that. But a lathe big enough to fit something like this is not common. Here in my shop, I've got 2 different ways of turning material, and the biggest capacity I have is 36 inches. So we have to design something that can be made in 2 pieces and then joined together to get the full length that is needed. So we're going to take you now up to what we call the command center, where we do our drafting and our computer modeling, and we're going to show you the design that we've made to solve all of these problems and to make something beautiful for the client that will meet all of their needs. So let's head on up to the command center. So the first thing we did is we designed this new Flagstaff in a three-dimensional scale model. So this is going to be the new Flagstaff. You can see the ball at the top here, and then it tapers down here at the end to where it would fit in the slot on the boat. These 2 pieces at the end are simply the ends of the wood where it gets held within the machinery when it gets rotated, and those will be cut off at the end. So if we were able to cut the entire piece in one, if we had the sufficient capacity to do it, we would be able to do it with just this model. But as we discussed earlier, we're going to have to do this in 2 pieces. So we're going to have to, somewhere in the middle, we're going to have to figure out a way to cut the top half and the bottom half and then rejoin them back together. So for alignment purposes, we're going to mill in into one side. We're going to have this peg, and we're going to mill in on the other side a socket that this peg will fit into, so that when we put them together, they will be perfectly aligned top and bottom around the center axis. So this part of it will help us with the alignment and putting them together. Next, we have to figure out how we're going to make this strong when we put it back together. So the design that the client and I came up with is what you see here. We're going to cut these slots or dados into both the corresponding, this is the top half, and also in the bottom half, so that when they come together, there would be a hole here for that socket that we just talked about to fit into, and then we would align these slots on the top and then on the bottom to come together, which would be fit with a spline that transcends both the top and the bottom piece, is firmly mounted and secured in there. That will make this piece very, very strong. And so this is a design we're going with. And as we go into our next video next week, we're going to take you into when we start actually cutting these pieces out and bringing it to life. So stay tuned.